As technology evolves, we need to build up societal immunity around information manipulation.
In November of 2024, Australia passed the world's first online safety amendment, the Social Media Minimum Age Act, banning social media accounts for under 16-year-olds without parental consent override, effective December 10th, 2025.
From December 10, people under the age of 16 will no longer have access to social media accounts. It's part of a new law to help keep under 16 safer online.
Platforms including TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, YouTube, X, Reddit, Threads, Twitch, and Kick must take reasonable steps like biometric or ID-based age verification to enforce the rule or face fines up to nearly $50 million.
Every kid is worried about this. They think it's literally their identity online.
The law enjoys broad parental support in Australia, but is fiercely opposed by tech companies, the Electronic Frontier Foundation, and Elon Musk, who calls it a backdoor way to control access to the internet.
They will glorify it, and they'll make it sound like a really fantastic thing, and it's completely not that. It's all trickery. It's all to push us into a communist style of living.
Once again, the globalists have hitched what appears to be legislation for the common good to their wagon cart of totalitarian domination, a slippery slope that normalizes mass surveillance, risks sensitive data breaches, isolates teens from educational networks, and may drive minors to unregulated underground apps, setting Generation Alpha up to be surveilled to the nth degree once they reach 16 years of age.
The company is also rolling out notifications warning teenagers of the ban, asking them to verify their age, which can be done in multiple ways: a driver's license, facial recognition, or Connect ID, which proves your identity through a bank account.
Meanwhile, the EU's Digital Services Act, fully applicable since February 2024, imposes systematic risk assessments, rapid illegal content removal, and trusted flagger systems that were heavily influenced by Stanford University's Cyber Policy Center. Orwellian frameworks originally developed under the First Amendment with U.S. government agencies and later exported to Brussels.
Under the DSA, the EU will find private global companies that operate right here in the U.S. Think Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and X. Up to 6% of their global annual turnover every time they don't censor certain speech. And that speech is based on extremely vague terms like hate speech, misinformation, and online safety. On the flip side, there's no penalty for censoring too much speech, so corporations will be incentivized to err on the side of over-censoring, helping the EU clamp down on speech it doesn't like and moving the needle toward total narrative control. In other words, if you share something on Instagram that might break the rules somewhere in Europe, Meta will have to remove your post or face a fine of about $10 billion. That's billion with a B.
This same group, the Stanford Cyber Policy Center, brought over the head or deputy head of the Sweden Psychological Defense Agency so that censors in America could learn from censors in Sweden about the best way to psychologically defend the public against populist right-wing news sources, effectively.
There will be custodial terms of 6 months.
The UK's Online Safety Act, fully operational from July 2025, has forced platforms like Substack to demand government ID for access to certain content, triggered Wikipedia high-risk classification threats, and empowered Ofcom to punish insufficient self-censorship.
You know that I've been warning you guys about the Digital Services Act, this online safety law that the EU put forth a few years ago. And one of the requirements that that law has is that to protect children online, certain content has to be age restricted. Obviously, like they're talking about things like pornography or very aggressive or violent material. But also, yours truly has been flagged as someone who creates sensitive content. And so all of my posts now have this sensitivity warning, and you have to actively go and click it and verify your age to be able to see what I post and what I write.
All of this now amplified by cases like Irish teacher Enoch Burke's repeated imprisonment and an indefinite term of imprisonment for defying court orders tied to pronoun policy.
There are two judgments of the Court of Appeal extant with diametrically opposite findings on a most serious aspect of the disciplinary process, i.e., what is the basis for the disciplinary action against Enoch Burke. The disciplinary appeal panel has scheduled a hearing for Saturday, the 13th of December next.
But recent historical precedent strongly suggests these measures will detonate on the launchpad. Kenya's 2022 to 2024 internet shutdowns, India's world-leading blackout record, Bangladesh's failed 2024 nationwide cutoff that hastened regime collapse, Nepal's reversed TikTok ban, and Mexico's throttled protest networks all backfired. VPN and encrypted app usage exploded. Citizens innovated offline and decentralized coordination. Economies suffered massive losses. Courts struck down the restrictions, and public anger intensified rather than subsided. As Australia, the EU, and UK doubled down on age gates at their globalist masters' insistence toward identity verification and algorithmic policing in the name of safety, heavy-handed online censorship will only strengthen resistance as this tyrannical house of cards built on technocracy buckles in the winds of freedom. John Bound reporting for InfoWars.
Yeah, so welcome to the show. December 12th, 2025, the end of the year. Man, we're getting there, aren't we? I got a special for you tonight. Thank you for being here. I hope everybody can hear me okay. I can barely hear myself, but I'm sure it's because we have my bunch of stuff going on, but I think we're good. Thank you for being here. We have some we're gonna get into some stuff tonight. But first, I want to introduce my guest that you all know already, but you've never seen his face before. This is my son, John, and he's with us tonight. He wanted to come on and join us tonight, and and I'm like, absolutely. You're behind the scenes a lot. Why not be in front of the scenes and kind of get an idea of what's going on here? Because listen, if you don't raise your children right, what do you end up with? You end up with children that have blue hair, that think they want to chop their dicks off or whatever, right? Girls want to, have surgery to get rid of the boobs, all the crazy stuff that we've seen and that's happening right now. And that video we just played is a prime example of what they're doing in the UK and, what they're doing over there and all those places, taking your digital, making you have digital ID in order to use the internet. Let that sink in for a minute, because when you really realize what that means, it's going to shock you, because what they're doing to them, and I have a little thing that I have to do real quick if I can find what I'm looking for. I'm going to add something to the bottom of the post so people can go to. Gotta find it. It's going to be right here. Right in here. Where in heavens is it? Here somewhere. I know it is, because put it here so find it. Of course, that's what happens is I'll put something where I can find it and then I won't be able to find it. Give me a second here. We'll get to the show here in just a second, but I want to get this in so everybody can go to my Patriot Supply and buy, your, Christmas presents before the sales are over. So let me see, where is it at? Very interesting. Okay, I know where else I can get it from. So what we're talking about tonight is what's going on in the UK. It isn't just internet censorship. It's a gateway to censorship of everything. That one guy that was walking there, teacher, was arrested and convicted for pronouns, for not calling somebody, not participating in the mental illness. And so, the censorship and the mental illness of like the gender stuff, it all kind of goes together. So when I talk about my son, you know, and I talk about how I want to raise my son right, and you should want to as well raise your son right, so that um, when he grows up knowing that America is home of the brave, and the flag, be proud of the flag and be a patriot, right? I mean, most people, you'd think most people would want that for their children, but you'd be surprised how many of these crazy people are out here right now. You know, being okay with women, men and women's sports, men and women's, bathrooms, and all this weird stuff. And it's just crazy. And it starts over there, and within 3 years, it ends up over here, just like what happened with the just like what happened with the illegal aliens and the Muslims and and all the stuff that happened over there first, and they run it through over there first, and then it ends up in the United States as soon as they get the right person in office, like a Biden or something, and then that stuff just shifts right into here. And they've sued Elon Musk for millions of dollars, like $160 million for Brazil, for not censoring people that they don't want on the internet. I mean, it's just crazy. I mean, and so it seems innocent. It really does. It seems like it's not that big of a deal. Sorry, I'm adding this to the bottom of the stream for everybody so that they can find this in the show notes. So you can go to My Patriot Supply, and they have these super screaming deals. As a matter of fact, they have a deal right now where you buy a 90-day supply, and they give you 2 7-day supplies of restorable food, good for 25 years. So that's just one of the many deals that we have right now for the continued, sales that they have going on. So jump in there, check it out, please. Participate, help us out with everything that you help us with buying. Whether you go to Alex Jones, the Alex Jones store /Inspector Web, and buy supplements or T-shirts or whatever, it's the same price, but I get a 10% kickback, and it just helps us support the channel. And if you like what we're doing here, you'll participate, you'll like and subscribe to the channel and all that great stuff. And that's enough of that. All right, so what are we talking about? We're talking about censorship. We're talking about everything that we've seen in the last 5 years is about censorship. Actually, longer. Towards the end of Trump's term, like 2020, 2019, 2020, they started doing this thing where they were, remember they took Trump off of social media and did all this stuff. They did it before he was still president of the United States. Yeah, it was there was a short period, I think the 76 days before he was out of office because they stole the election. But they took him off, and they canceled all those people off the internet, including myself. They took me off of Twitter at the time because I said something about Sleepy Joe or whatever it was, or vaccines or whatever it was, at the time. But my point is, This is what's happening, and this is what's coming back. And if we don't do something here about what's going on in the United States of America, we're going to be just like those countries. We're going to be just like Brazil, or, name it, France, whatever. All those places over there have this big problem with censorship and transgender and Muslims everywhere, and they're taking over, and there's mosques everywhere, and all this stuff that's going on over there is really it's here now, but we have an opportunity, if we act faster than we have been, to make a difference, to change that. And I hope that everyone really takes heed to that, because that's big. That's a real serious thing. Okay. It really is. It really is a big thing. So, thank you for being here. Okay. So, that's my little thing about that. We're going to get into some stuff tonight that I don't usually, I've shown the stuff that I ran into with Charlie Kirk. I've kind of stayed neutral with it, and how do I say this? I'm not happy. I'm not pleased with the Republican Party, if you want to call it that, the Conservative Party, the America First Party, the MAGA Party, whatever label you want to put on it. I'm very displeased right now, considering, and I'm going to just say this right now. I'm going to just get this out. I'm going to just get this out there. Then we're going to go through a whole bunch of stuff, and you be the judge. But I already see it. I already see what's going on. The propaganda is out of control, and I'm going to show you what I mean in the next hour. I'm going to show you what it means. Okay, exactly what I'm talking about. So, anybody with common sense, a little bit of common sense, will go, you know what, John, you're right. You're absolutely right. There is a propaganda campaign going on right now, and it's ugly. And there's one thing to have personal loyalty to somebody. It's another thing to sell out who you are as a person for the personal loyalty. It's just one of the things that I absolutely refuse to do. That's kind of why I've stayed neutral for so long around this, is because I didn't want to put my 2 cents in to this big old shitstorm that's going on. But you have all these people at each other's throat, and I've mentioned that a few times. Hey, can we all just get along, kind of thing? But no, the truth is, we have a serious problem right now. And what it is now we have the people that it be, whoever we always talk about, those people, whoever those people are, they got this campaign going, this political campaign that is destroying America. It's destroying the world, but it's destroying our party. It's destroying everything. And it's not because I don't know really what it is. What my take is on it, though, is this. If you believe that Charlie Kirk was shot with a 30-06 at 144 yards with a 30-06 in the neck, just feel your neck. Feel how light, it's the thinnest part of your whole body. I mean, maybe the cheek would be a little thinner, but I mean, and you got your two main you got an artery right here, and you have your artery and your what the hell is it called? I can't even think of what it's called right now. They're both right here. They come together kind of big. They're fat right here, and that's where and we're gonna play some stuff tonight. We're gonna break it down to just so you can see, if you're still like, oh no, like Jack Posobiec said, oh, it was, Tyler Robinson did it with a 30-06, and they got the weapon, they got they got fingerprints and DNA. Listen, do you trust the FBI after all that you've seen in the last 10 years, 5 years? Do you trust the FBI? Because I don't trust the FBI since 1963. And the truth is, we've learned what we can believe about the FBI and that they are corrupt. CIA corrupt. You know what I mean? And we have a couple people in the three-letter agencies that are kind of working towards some, like, in the right way, in the right direction. Tulsi Gabbard, she's definitely going in the right direction. I mean, there's not a lot. There's not a lot of people, you know. Joe Kent, you know, he's kind of going in the right direction. You know, I think Hegseth's in the right direction. But you see how thin it is? I can't just rattle off 25 people of the cabinet that are killing it. They just can't. They're all on the wrong side of the truth. That's my opinion. Now, can it be fixed? Well, Trump has the executive power to do anything that he absolutely wants to, and he should. And, he should start firing people. And we caught the hot mic. Matter of fact, that's all. I'm gonna pull that. I'm gonna add that to. See if it comes up. If it comes up. Trump on the hot mic. See if we get it. See if it comes up. Okay, we're gonna pull it. We're gonna do this because this is important. I think that it's because we have this thing going on where we got this thing going on in our culture right now where everybody says that Trump is horrible, he's doing everything wrong and all this stuff. And the truth is, it's not Trump. It's his cabinet that are lying to him and not telling him every time Trump gets the right information, he does the right thing. So that's been my experience. That anytime he gets good information, he does the right thing. Uh, it says here, Trump hot mic a frustrated, and he should be. Republicans are doing a terrible job, or trying to get Trump's agenda dying. Trump agenda dying. We need new Congress and Senate. Hot mic moment. What's this one? Let's see what this says. We're just going through. We're just going to go through. We don't usually do it like this. Look at all those pieces of shit up there. That's not it, but we're gonna find it. So See if we can find it. Let's see if we can find it. Yeah, maybe not. Maybe we're not gonna find it. I think it's this one. Did you hear it? Did you hear it?
Run video subtitles.
I don't know how.
Oh shit, you can't.
It won't do video subtitles from here, I'm sure, but we'll have to put it through a. Anyway, I gave it a shot. Let's get back to what we're doing here. Stand by. All right. He said that he was pissed off on a hot mic the other day, and he basically said that they better start doing something, or basically, or else. And that tells me that Trump is pissed. Right, rightfully so, right? Rightfully so, because he is not getting. He's. It's been almost a year. Been 10 months. I'm sure I could find it if I had more time, but I didn't think about it soon enough, so I apologize for that. But it's not in there, so. Says, I can't appoint anybody. Everybody I've appointed has had their time expired. Then they're in default. Then we're losing. That's, I don't know. Anyway. Okay, let's get to it. Okay, so Trump. Okay, back to what I was saying. All right, what the hell was I saying? I was talking about when Trump gets the right information, he makes the right decision, but he does not get the right information because he's dealing with a bunch of buffoons or a bunch of people that are against him, right? We know this. So we're going to get into some of that tonight. I think that he should start firing people and putting people in there that can get the job done. And because in about a year from now, if he doesn't find some serious action, I mean, like get to it, he's going to lose the midterms, and he's going to be a lame duck president, and then we're going to lose in 2028, and we're all going to end up in prison. So, I mean, because they're going to put everybody in prison that's MAGA or that's America First or that has American flag outside their house or has a Trump flag or whatever. That's what they're going to do. So that's not a joke. It's serious. Pretty serious. So let's see where we're gonna start. I'm gonna want to do this Trump stuff first because I want to get that out of the way, and then we're gonna get into this heavy stuff. So I have some stuff on the shooting, Charlie Kirk shooting. I have some stuff on analysis. I broke it up so we can do commentary around it because it was a longer video, and I didn't want to play a long ass video because a lot of people don't like it when I play long videos. So I broke it up into smaller videos so we can do commentary. But when we get to it, I want you to just pay attention to what they're saying, because that's the key. Is like nothing lines up. It'd be great if something was lining up, but when you look at it, nothing lines up. None of it makes sense. None of it. So what are we supposed to think? What are we supposed to think if nothing lines up in everything that we do, look at, makes no sense. So let's get into this. All right. Bum 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 bum. Stand by. Let's start right. We're gonna start right here.
But President Obama absolutely cold. Tulsi Gabbard. What they did to this country in 2016, starting in 2016, but going up to 2020 in the election. They tried to rig the election, and they got caught. And there should be very severe consequences for that. You know, when we caught Hillary Clinton, I said, you know what? Let's not go too far here. It's the ex-wife of a president, and I thought it was sort of terrible. And I let her off the hook, and I'm very happy I did. But it's time to start, after what they did to me, and whether it's right or wrong, it's time to go after people. Obama's been caught directly. So people say, oh, you know, a group. It's not a group. It's Obama. His orders are on the paper. The papers are signed. The papers came right out of their office. They sent everything to be highly classified. Well, the highly classified's been released. And what they did in 2016 and in 2020 is very criminal. It's criminal at the highest level. So that's really the things you should be talking about. I know nothing about the other, but I think it's appropriate that they do go.
May I ask you about that, Mr. President? Tulsi Gabbard has submitted a criminal referral to the Department of Justice. From your perspective, who should the DOJ target as part of their investigation? What specific figures in the Obama administration?
Well, based on what I read, and I read pretty much what you read, it would be President Obama. He started it. And Biden was there with him, and Comey was there, and Clapper, the whole group was there. Brennan, they were all there in a room. Right here, this was the room. This is much more beautiful than it was then, but that's okay. Nice pictures up. They came out of the vaults. They were in there for 100 years. This is much more beautiful. We have the Declaration of Independence now in the room. It wasn't here. I guess people didn't feel too good about putting it here, but I do. But you know what? If you look at those papers, they have them stone cold, and it was President Obama. It wasn't lots of people all over the place. It was them too. But the leader of the gang was President Obama, Barack Hussein Obama. Have you heard of him?
The documents contain emails, allegedly, from the senior vice president of the George Soros Open Society Foundation. He quotes a Clinton campaign advisor saying, quote, it will be a long-term affair and to demonize Putin and Trump. And adds that, quote, later, the FBI will put more oil into the fire, unquote. Other emails reveal Hillary Clinton approved the idea of tying Trump and Russia to election interference. And that was a scheme hoping the allegations would distract people from her own email scandal. These documents provide clear evidence that Hillary Clinton's campaign was behind the Russia hoax and that the FBI knew what the Clinton team was up to, acknowledging that the info they were receiving about the Trump campaign may have come from the Clinton camp. Despite this, the Obama intel community forged ahead with their 2017 assessment, concluding that Russia aspired to help Trump win the election. The documents contain emails.
I don't know about you, but I'm tired. I am worn out. I am fed up. I've had enough. I am tired of exposing corruption, doing our homework, going overseas and having documents translated to make sure they're exactly right, presenting the evidence. We know what's happening, except then once we expose it, nothing happens. Nobody goes to jail. Nobody pays for a damn thing anymore. Nothing. If you and I did half the things that people in Washington do every day, you and I would go to prison. Clinton got away with it. Even the left knew that the Clinton Foundation was dirty. They sold uranium to our biggest enemy, Russia. Nothing. No. She can take confidential, top secret emails and put them on her server at her home. Something you and I would go to prison for. We would be in prison for the rest of our lives. Not a big deal. Benghazi? No. Not only did we show you that we were gun running to a group in Syria that became ISIS, that's what we were doing in Benghazi. Not only that, but just the killing of a U.S. ambassador, and, might I point out on Veterans Day, we abandoned our troops. Did anything happen? Nope. Nope. Mm-mm. Nothing. Nothing. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of actually being open and saying, okay, well, let's look into the spying on this presidential candidate. That's a pretty hefty charge. Were they doing it? And then finding out, yes, they were, and nothing happens. He was colluding with Russia. My gosh, that should be the biggest scandal of all time if that were true. If it wasn't true, and it was started, and evidence, paperwork even showed that they knew, all the way to the White House. You'd think that would be even a bigger story. Lying to the FISA courts, nothing. Creating an enemies list, nothing. Using our own intelligence agencies to assist in this operation. Spending millions of dollars on a claim they knew that wasn't true. The collusion on Russia, they knew it before the president was ever elected. A scandal. The loss of billions of tax dollars in Ukraine, no big deal. The lies and the collusion with the Obama administration in Ukraine, no big deal. Hunter Biden, forget about Burisma. What was that, $7 billion? Who cares? Look at Hunter Biden and his father in China. Oh, but we don't have any proof of that. Yes, we do. We have all the proof anyone who cares to be honest needs. We have all the documents on his own frickin' laptop, which have been verified for people that were working with him, who were Democrats that had those same emails on their computer. Nothing. The scandal of our Justice Department, the deep state, which I didn't believe in 4 years ago. My gosh, you've got to be dead and probably voting in the last election if you don't see the deep state. The corruption of our media telling us to deny our own eyes. There's a car on fire, and they're like, oh, nothing's happening here. It's totally peaceful. There's a car on fire behind you, but we're not supposed to notice that. Good has been made evil, and evil is made good. They ask you now to don't believe your own eyes, believe us. Our country is being torn apart on the streets by radicals who are marching with no Trump, no Biden, no America signs. But don't worry about that. This is just a peaceful group. Really? Our children are being indoctrinated with all kinds of crap, telling them that they're racist because of the color they were born with. The teachers' unions completely out of control. The lies of Black Lives Matter, Inc. And no one seems to care. No one seems to care that Black Lives Matter is actually a corporation. That Black Lives Matter, on their own manifesto, said they wanted to destroy the nuclear family. But that's all fine. Antifa? No. They're not wild in the streets. That's only an idea. Yeah, kind of like Nazism was an idea. But yet, if you support the Constitution, if you just say, I want a fair and legal count, you're a radical. You're an anti-government zealot. I've had it. I've had enough.
Yeah.
I almost didn't make the show last week.
Oh shit, he's still going. I thought he was done.
Because this is what I wanted to say to you. Except it would have been followed with, so see you later.
Glenn Beck. I mean, he's not the only one like that. What do you think of that, John? Glenn Beck is saying that because it's what everyone's saying. Anyone that has any common sense is saying the same thing. Soon as the Democrats got in office in 2020, what's the first thing they did? They started indicting people. They created chaos at January 6th to put people in prison. Thousands of people went to prison. You know, people getting indicted, grandmas for walking through the Capitol. People praying at abortion clinics, going to prison, going to jail, getting arrested. Just complete chaos. Burning down everything. I mean, all the stuff that happened in 2020, between 2020 and 2025 when Trump got into office, including, 30, 40 million illegal aliens into our country, unvetted, still here, a lot of them, most of them. I mean, they have gotten some out. They did, at least they got the border closed for the most part. But if you think about it, there is a list we're going to get to later when we get to the Charlie Kirk stuff, and the guy breaks it down just exactly like it is. Like all these things that we voted for, nothing has happened. And we could point the finger at Trump because Trump's the president, but look at what happens when he puts something in motion. There's 500 different lawsuits and Supreme Court justices and and federal courts and all these different judges, basically have become God and they think that they can do whatever they want. There's a lot, but I'm not making excuses for Trump by no means, am I? I feel exactly how Glenn Beck feels like in that, and I think that something needs to be done. And I'm hoping that in the next, couple months, and I've heard rumbles of stuff getting ready to happen, but we'll see. At this point, you got to go, well, we'll see because nothing's happened. And I don't believe that Trump is scared. I think it's more about like his people aren't doing what he wants him to do. And so, I mean, they tried to put him in prison for 700 plus years, for a whole fake scenario that Mar-a-Lago is worth, what was it, $17 million when it's worth like 500 million at least. I think he got offered close to $1 billion for it at one point. But this is what they do. This is how they do us. This is exactly what they do. And this is how they're going to continue to do us because we allow it. We're allowing this to happen. So that's the truth. We are allowing it to happen. So, yeah, it's crazy. What do you say, John? You want to jump in on this part?
About what again?
About what we're talking about. We're talking about that clip right there. We'll get into the Charlie Kirk stuff, and then I know you'll have stuff that you want to talk about with this. So, pray for. What I do is I pray for President Trump right now. I pray for him. I pray for his cabinet. I pray for some justice. I really do, because his first month or two, he was doing great. Just doing all kinds of great things, making changes. Getting rid of people and all that stuff. And then, the truth is, Gabbard emptied out her cabinet, got rid of all those corrupt people. She did that, but she knew she had to do that or she wouldn't get nothing done. And she's been a little bit quiet lately, and I don't know why, but, RFK had to do the same thing, had to fire all those people because they were, he went on vacation for a week and they passed a COVID bill, and then he had to come back after break and fire them all and reverse it. right? This is what's going on. We got deep staters, massive deep staters in there doing, exactly whatever the fuck they want, and it's got to end. That's true. So, let's get into this. I need to get rid of that. All right, let's get into this. We're going to start right here. So Erica Kirk was on Fox News. She's doing the media tour. It was supposed to be about the new book, Charlie's new book that came out, but what she's done is she's came out telling everybody to stop investigating her husband's death, which makes no sense to me. And you have TPUSA talking about, oh no, I don't. Robinson was the one that did it, and Tyler Robinson is the one that did the murder, and blah 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 blah. You guys need to stop. You're making us look bad. Basically. So let's get into this. We're gonna run through a few clips all at once here, and then we'll come back because I think what I got here is pretty interesting when you look at it. So we're going to start right here. Bye-bye.
Erica, one of the most alarming things about Charlie's murder was the way that some people in this country reacted to it.
Yeah.
And not just online. This was an idea that you encountered a lot. And the idea was this. They kind of justified it. They basically said that because Charlie said or believed things that they believed were controversial or even hateful, that he somehow had it coming. What do you say to people who justified his death?
You're sick. He's a human being. You think he deserved that? Tell that to my 3-year-old daughter. Excuse me. You want to watch in high res the video of my husband being murdered and laugh and say he deserves it? There's something very sick in your soul, and I pray that God saves you. I pray, because that is what is so wrong. The internet in this world has dehumanized us.
From the perspective of a grieving widow, a mom, and a battle-tested American. Good to see you again today. Talk to me about this part of the conspiracies that are out there, this disturbing part that people are trying to guess where Charlie is.
Can I have one thing? Can I have one thing? Can my children have one thing? Everything was public. We will be building the most beautiful memorial for my husband at Turning Point USA, and it will be for the world to see, and it will be spectacular, and it will have basically museum style for our Charlie, for my Charlie. But can I have one thing? Can my babies have one thing where we hold it sacred, where my husband is laid to rest, where I don't have to be worried about some secular revolutionary coming and destroying my husband's grave while my daughter is sitting there praying? One thing. This is my husband. Yes, he was Charlie Kirk to the world, and I know so many people love my husband, and I am grateful for that. But this is my husband, and I want to be able to have one thing left that is sacred to our family, to my in-laws, to my babies, and to my parents. One thing.
What are they taking from you right now?
Nothing. But I will tell you what they are doing. It reminds me so much of chapter 6 in the book of Nehemiah. He is building a wall, and the townspeople are at the base of that hill saying, Nehemiah, calling him all these names, saying all these things, come on down. Every single time he had the same message 4 times in a row. I cannot come down. I am busy building. That is how I feel. I do not have time to address the noise. My silence does not mean that I am complacent. My silence does not mean that somehow Turning Point USA and all of the handpicked staff that loved my husband and my husband loved them is somehow in on it. We are busy building. And you know what I thought? I thought these people are human. We are all grieving in our own way. And they are trying to find the answer to something that happened that was so evil. They are trying so hard. And I get that. We're doing the same. Anytime we hear a lead or anytime we hear anything, we send it to the authorities. Please dig into this. No rock will be unturned. I want justice for my husband, for myself, for my family, more than anyone else out there. So for me, you want to keep telling me to come down while we're building? I don't have time for that. But here's my breaking point on that. Come after me, call me names, I don't care. Call me what you want, go down that rabbit hole, whatever. But when you go after my family, my Turning Point USA family, my Charlie Kirk Show family, when you go after the people that I love, and you're making hundreds and thousands of dollars every single episode, going after the people that I love because somehow they're in on this, no.
You know, I have to say it. I've never seen you like this.
No, this is righteous anger because this is not okay. It's not healthy. This is a mind virus. Yes, I believe in our judicial system. I do. We have a hell of a team working on this. Excuse my French. But this is not okay.
So you want to put these people back in the box where they've been creeping from?
I don't care what box you're in. But just know that your words are very powerful and we are human. My team are not machines and they're not robots. They are human. We have more death threats on our team and our side than I have ever seen. I have kidnapping threats. I have, you name it, we have it. And my poor team is exhausted. And every time they bring this back up, what are we supposed to do? Relive that trauma all over again? They watched my husband get murdered. I have no idea how I would have reacted if I was there that day. And thank the good Lord that I did not have to see that happen. But my team, they are rocked to the core. So why every single day do they have to be dragged through the mud, analyzed, hyper-analyzed?
You know, the conspiracies that are out there, all of the like, do you think that there is more of it now because you do shine your light? I mean, did people just expect you to just go away?
I don't know what they expected. I don't know what they expected.
They pick on you because of your accessories. I mean, I've seen some of it.
Oh, yeah. No, at this point, it's what? The conspiracy collection. Get it before Christmas. Like, seriously. Wow. You will, if you want to find and pick me apart, go right ahead. I do not care. I don't. This was happening before Charlie was murdered. Both of us have been through the ringer of people will call you whatever they want to call you.
Yeah, so I'll give her that. I mean, she wants to, have some privacy around where Charlie's buried for safety reasons. Understood. I totally can get behind that. But it seems like this media tour is more about coming out and I mean, I don't know. I mean, it seems interesting at best, but this is just the beginning. Did you have something that you want to talk about, John? I see you over there taking notes. Talking to the mic. Go ahead, brother. Don't be.
What did you mean by? Didn't you mention something about her saying, "Stop investigating her husband, Charlie Kirk"?
Right. Yeah. So she said that.
I think so. I thought I thought I heard you mention it.
So everybody's investigating Charlie Kirk because they have not told us anything about Charlie Kirk's death except for a bunch of lies. And we've covered it here on the show, 30-06 in the neck and all that stuff, which is not, there's no way, you can't get shot. You can't get shot from 1,000 yards with a 30-06 and it not blow your neck completely off. So that's part of it. The other part is it's just fishing. We're going to get into that so you understand more about this. But that's a very good question. one of the things that is being said, though, is that, well, she wants this to be private, but yet she just had a funeral that was live streamed. So, I mean, put on the internet. I'm sure you've seen the casket, right? The picture of the casket.
I don't think so.
Yeah. So, um,
And also something about the conspiracy collection.
her rings. They talk about her rings because one of them is what's it called? I'll look it up now. Hold on, let me look it up. I can't think of what it's called. Oh, well, they're saying that her rings on this is saying that her rings, um, conspiracy theory suggests whatever the G represents God, her daughter Gigi, or simply the stylish of the jewelry. There's no significance to secret society, but the talk of the G ring is, I think it's what's it called? It's a Masonic ring, and that's what the symbol is. It's the ring is from Masonic temple. That's what that ring is. Here it is right here. Masonic ring.
You're gonna show it to the camera?
Yeah, I'm gonna pull it up. Masonic. Pull these up like this. The G is for her daughter. I get that, but then there's this other one here. Where's it at? The G is for GG or whatever, but there's one on her hand that is the one of the Masonic Lodge. Let me see if I can find it here. And I think it has Masonic. At least that's what yeah, right there. I don't know that that's it. I'm looking for. Those don't look like Masonic rings to me, so I don't know. Back here. How did I end up here? Let's see. Well, I lost it. Looks like. I'm looking. Yeah, see, they don't, unless that's it right there. I don't have, there it is. Bump, 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 bump. They're saying that one of them represents the Masonic Lodge. Um, Masonic temple, like a secret society.
Do you know what goes on down there?
Well, I mean, there's stories about Masonic being see, these are not her rings because it's not on her hand. So I'm still trying to figure out where they're coming up with this at. I mean, oh, Freemasons are Masonic from the Masonic Lodge or the Freemasons, but I don't see that on any of her hands. So I don't know where that's coming from. The G represents her kids, is what they're saying. I don't see Masonic. I don't see those ring. A Masonic ring. It is a G with a cross symbol. It's like that right there. This is what one of those. That's what. See that? See that? That's the representation of the Masonic temple. It's the G with this. I don't know what it's called. It's right here. Let's see what you say. I don't know. It doesn't even really explain it very well. But anyway, I don't want to bore the audience with us digging into the ring. I know some people are interested in that, and it's probably very significant about something. But what it says is that the ring represents the G represents God, her daughter Gigi, or a simple, stylish piece of jewelry. There's no verified evidence linking to secret society. So, you know, I haven't never seen them up close. So I don't know. So anyway, yeah, did you have another question though?
No.
Well, let's keep going and we'll get into it here. Stand by.
I am open to a whole flurry of things. What I'm not open to is a theory that Tyler Robinson didn't kill Charlie. Who else was involved? Sure, I can talk about that. Was there other voices in? But I'm not open to that because guess what? The evidence of that case is incredibly watertight, and I would like for us to focus on the rise of left-wing violence, the rise of mental health illness in this country, the rise of young people in the progressive side, turning to Mangionism and assassination culture, and the idea that they can solve their political disputes by justifying violence. And we're seeing more and more of that. Instead of focusing on that, we're getting taken down rabbit trails. And listen, I understand a good faith question. I understand that we've been lied to. But when you look at the people that have been harmed by this, our team, our staff, the movement, people that weigh into this issue, then they get caught up in it. There's been a lot of carnage, and I don't want that for the movement. I hope we can get through this sooner than later.
And Erica went on today and responded to a number of people who have come after her for a variety of things, saying that she was in on it, saying that she planned it, saying that she's profiting from it, saying that she and her team are involved in it. And she just went off, just totally went off. And we saw it on Fox News. It was absolutely there. Do we have that clip of Erica? All right.
You know what I thought? I thought these people are human. We are all grieving in our own way. And they are trying to find the answer to something that happened that was so evil. They are trying so hard. And I get that. We're doing the same. Anytime we hear a lead or anytime we hear anything, we send it to the authorities. Please dig into this. No rock will be unturned. I want justice for my husband, for myself, for my family, more than anyone else out there.
And look, I just have to say bravo to Erica, to someone who is a friend of mine, someone who's been a friend of mine for years, and someone who, gosh, I'm just going to say, I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine what it's like to have to live through something like this to be in public, to take the reins over of Turning Point, and then also to deal with just these fantasies, these absolute fantasies about herself and the team. And, you know, I look at some of those theories too, and I say, well, if all of these guys were in on Charlie's assassination, why were they all standing in the line of fire? I mean, just basic logic would dictate. It's like, wow, I guess you really trust that gay communist furries marksmanship, right? Because you're all standing right there. And, you know, look, I'm going to sit here and say that I'm not going to say that I don't have any questions about whether or not Tyler Robinson was working with other people. And I think it would be silly not to, and it would be silly not to ask what was going on in those discords. And we here on the show have asked that question many, many times. But it's absurd completely to think that Erica might be involved in this, or again, that people who were standing in the line of fire were involved in the murder of their friend, their boss, and in Erica's case, her husband, someone that she'll never see again, or children will never see again. And so it's on. What can I say? It's on, it's begun, and the trial will happen, and Tyler Robinson will be found guilty.
I don't see Tyler Robinson found guilty. I'm going to just say it. There's no way. Unless they have a lot of stuff that didn't come out. I mean, there's million videos. I mean, there's videos of every angle, everything, and there's none of Tyler Robinson. None. There's some AI clip of him on the stairwell. It doesn't even look like him. I don't see how he's found guilty. I don't see any way that that's going to be true. I don't agree. I don't think it's real. So that's my take on it after all this. But let's just keep going because I have a few more of these MAGA people talking about how we need to be focused on other things instead of who killed Charlie Kirk. Which, if somebody kills me, you guys better not let no stone be unturned. And I don't give a shit who you're looking at. You need to look at everybody, because usually the ones that kill you are the ones that's closest to you. So stand by.
People wanting to be edgelords, saying, we don't care about the midterms, we don't care about Trump, we don't care about the Republican Party. Everything's in collapse, everything's in flames, everything's over. It's so over. It's a total black pill, and I'm sick of it, honestly. Do you understand the alternative? You understand what will happen as soon as the left takes power? They'll nuke the filibuster. They'll add 12 new Supreme Court justices. There'll never be another victor in the Supreme Court. They'll do unlimited vote by mail and vote by phone. That's what they want to do in California. They want to do vote by phone. They want to lower the voting age to 16. They want to let every single illegal alien vote, and that'll happen because they'll naturalize 30 million criminal aliens that are here right now illegally.
Look at the comments.
Again, 2 more Senate seats by making D.C. a state. D.C. is so dysfunctional. It is like a Somalian terrorist. So it's like Mogadishu. Puerto Rico, they'll do the same thing. And then they'll pack the Senate, they'll pack the court, and they'll make it so that Republicans will never win an election ever again. Not only that, they'll trans the kids. They'll make it mandatory that you have transgender bathrooms, men and women's sports. They'll make it mandatory that your children are forced into propaganda schools. They'll probably criminalize homeschooling. And of course, they'll take down channels like this one. They'll crack down on all free speech. They'll fine into oblivion every single free speech platform. And they'll take away your voice. They'll steal it. It'll be gone. And so we're at a precipice right now. We're at a turning point right now. And it's something that we have to be critically laser focused in on. Now.
Yeah, so That's a true statement. I'll say that. That's a true statement, but it doesn't change the fact that we have corruption within the ranks, wherever it is, however it is, whatever it is, that doesn't make sense. And if we don't find out who really did this horrible thing to Charlie Kirk, it could happen to any of us. I mean, we're just going to say that a young kid got up on the roof, shot Charlie in the neck with a 30-06, got away, was never seen. The video that they shown of somebody jumping off the roof. You can't tell who it is. It's so grainy, and it's funny because all cameras now are 4K or better. I mean, it's just impossible. I mean, it's just the whole thing just it stinks, right? And then we go back to the shot. Takes one shot, perfect shot, right in the neck, boom, kills him with 30-06, and the bullet goes in Charlie's neck, hits his vertebrae, and bounces down and goes into his heart. Now, who believes that? I don't believe that. I've seen ballistic after ballistic after ballistic, um, you know, uh, trial runs with the 30-06 from all kinds of different powders and different grains and all this stuff. There's no way a 30-06 would go through his neck, through somebody else's neck, through a concrete wall, or go and go into a piece of metal. And there's no way. I mean, I don't know. John,
Hmm?
when you shoot even like a 223, if you shoot a 223 into a piece of metal, like a plate, that's why we always tell you don't shoot the plate, shoot the other stuff,
Mhm.
because it puts a hole through the plates. You mean when you're shooting? Remember we tell you don't shoot the plates. Those are for the pistol rounds because pistol rounds have softer,
Yeah.
and
Harder rounds.
yeah,
Ricochet.
and yeah, and they ricochet, all that stuff, right? So, yeah. You have a question right now?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Why do people justify violence?
Why do people justify violence? Good question. I would have to say that the reason why people justify violence is because they have screws loose or they're mentally ill, or there's no reason for violence ever unless
Never.
you're at war. But you got to remember where we're at right now. We're in a war. This is like fifth generation warfare right now. This is anytime that you're not safe to be at a podium and speak to people. Anytime you can't just do that without being concerned about being assassinated, tells you that there's something wrong with the people that are around, the culture. And the truth is a lot of this and I'll say this. I mean, my audience knows this because they've been paying attention to this for quite some time. But when you have people like the mainstream media, the news, saying that Trump's to this and Trump's to that, racist. He's all these different things. White people are evil. Everybody's a racist. All this stuff. It creates hate, and which creates this syndrome of got to get rid of them. Because you can't. It used to not be that way. You used to be able to have a conversation with somebody when I was growing up. If you had a disagreement with somebody, you just have a conversation with them. Now they go straight to violence.
So basically, what you're saying is brainwashing and propaganda.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely.
And then another question.
Yeah.
How does Erica Kirk profit off of Charlie Kirk's death? If she does.
By sales of merchandise, and they did a gala last week where she made $40 million in one night, $10,000 a plate for this. It must have been a dinner of some sort, and they're selling T-shirts or whatever, whatever there's whatever merchandise they're selling. They made over $100 million on that, and then another 40 million on the gala at I think it was at Mar-a-Lago last week. That's how she's making all that money. But let's I don't want to miss nothing because it jumped around a little bit. I want to make sure I don't miss nothing here. I don't want to miss nothing. Let's listen to some opposing stuff here. And this is not necessarily opposing. This is just like common sense stuff that we're going to get into. And I just want you to hear the difference of opinion from Turning Point saying stop, or the media, because Benny Johnson and Jack Posobiec, were they friends with Charlie? Yeah, probably pretty good friends and all that stuff. You'd think that they'd want to know. And I don't think directly anybody's being accused, but I think there are some accusations because there's some things that doesn't look right. For instance, and we'll get to it here shortly. Hopefully, we have enough time. We'll probably back this stream up with another stream tomorrow night to get through all this stuff because we're going long already. But we're going to get into the shooting and the interviews of the people of what they said, like the Harbaugh, I think is his name, the head security guy, how he said that, how he said different things that don't make sense because because they say one thing, but then what they did was another. It's too much to try and put down. So we'll do the clips, then we'll come back and talk about it. But he said things like they didn't have sign language, but the guy standing off of Charlie, right side of Charlie, was definitely doing sign language. He was definitely doing signs. I mean, and it's very clear that he was doing signs. So, but the head of security said they don't do signs. So, yeah. So we'll get into that here. Hold on, stand by. Come on.
In the 3 months since Charlie Kirk was murdered, I've really tried not to comment on the murder investigation in public, and it's not because I don't care. Of course, I love Charlie and knew him well since he was a teenager. But I haven't said anything about it. I really tried not to say anything about it. First, because I don't really know anything that everyone else doesn't know. I've asked around, but of course, how do you know what the truth is? But the other reason I haven't said anything is because I know personally a number of the people involved in what's now become a very large story. I know them really well, and I really think a lot of all of them on every side. Candace Owens, I've known a long time. I love Candace Owens. Blake Neff at TPUSA once worked for me at a couple of different places, and I love Blake Neff. Erica Kirk, I've known since she was dating Charlie Kirk, and I love Erica Kirk. And I think these are all really, really decent people. And so it's been my desire for 3 months not to get involved in any of this. And in general, to think to myself, anybody who is earnestly searching for the truth, whether they're right or wrong, but as long as they're motivated by a desire to find out what happened and therefore honor Charlie's memory by getting to justice, anyone who's doing that, I'm not going to criticize. Again, no matter what track they're on, lots of us, and this has certainly happened to me, have good moments, but good motives, but wind up in the wrong place. But it's a sincere mistake. So that definitely happens. I have done that, and so I've just wanted to stay out. And then the other day, I had like a 3-hour conversation with Theo Vaughn, and it was not about Charlie Kirk or anything related to it, but that topic came up. And I said, in effect, I don't trust the FBI. And that gave some people the impression that I was accusing them of being involved in Charlie's assassination. And of course, I wasn't. And I certainly didn't mean to. But it gives me the chance now to say what I think, which is that we should not necessarily trust the FBI. And by the way, why would we? not an attack on, the political leadership of it. I've known Dan Bongino, for example, for a long time, and like Dan, and don't imagine he would ever be involved in intentionally covering up a murder of somebody. I don't believe that. But Dan Bongino and Kash Patel, for that matter, are at the top of the org chart, but this is a huge organization, and parts of it act independently from leadership. That's the nature of bureaucracy. So saying, well, I like Dan Bongino and don't think he would do something wrong on purpose, which is how I feel, doesn't mean that I trust the FBI or have to trust the FBI. And again, why would I? There's one lesson of the last election, the 2024 election, it's that a lot of our biggest systems, our biggest institutions have rot in them, and that needs to be reformed. And as if we needed more proof of it, we'd learned what a lot of us suspected for years, that January 6th was in effect a setup, and the FBI was key to that setup. And it's still not clear that everyone involved in that setup at the FBI has been fired or punished for that. So no person, no American is under some moral obligation to believe everything the government tells you, particularly institutions or agencies that have a long documented, factually documented track record of committing crimes, participating illegally in our political system, for example, as the FBI has done, manufacturing crimes, setting people up, distorting justice. That's the opposite of their job, of course, which is to get to justice through facts and then to tell the rest of us how they arrived at this conclusion, to prove to the rest of us that the right people are being punished. So we're not under any obligation. Of course, we shouldn't invent theories to discredit the FBI, but it's not enough to have government officials tell us, well, this is the truth. We have a right, probably an obligation, to say, well, can you prove it? And if you can't, I don't have to believe you. So if there's one thing that bothers me above all about the investigation into Charlie Kirk, is that that is getting lost. As people argue over what happened, we are potentially letting our largest federal law enforcement agency off the hook. It is the job of the FBI to find out what happened and to tell the rest of us, not hide behind, well, it's national security, confidential sources. No, tell us what happened. Show us what happened. Convince us what happened. That's your job. And we shouldn't accept anything less. And by the way, when we do accept something less, then, new explanations fill the vacuum left by the FBI, which we pay to explain to us what happened. And so I'm going to really do my best not to talk about things I don't understand, state things as though I know them when I don't know them. I'm going to do my best to stay out of it because I love Charlie and I want justice to be done in this case. But the rest of us should remain skeptical. We have a duty to remain skeptical, and we should not be ashamed of our skepticism. Thanks.
Yeah, and and rightfully so. When you think about it, I wholeheartedly agree with that. I agree with that whole statement because I think that we should be getting to the bottom of it. Whether you like the direction that somebody's going, shouldn't really be your concern. I mean, hey, people talk shit all the time. If you have that thin a skin, maybe you should work on having thicker skin, because the truth is the truth. And at the end of the day, that's what always wins, is the truth. Regardless if you want to believe it or not, God is in charge of all things. And I think Candace is doing a fantastic job of making sure that nothing gets unchecked. And she's got some information, some big information that seems very, very credible. Now, I don't know all the ins and outs of it, and I'm sure as time comes, it'll come about. But there was a video back. Erica was talking about when we did with Jack Posobiec, where she was talking about hundreds and thousands of dollars on one stream. I mean, she has no room to talk. She's made $140 million off her husband's death. So, the truth is, let's get to the bottom of it. Let's find out what's what, and that's what we're going to do. We're not going to stop until we get to the truth. And if you think that Tyler Robinson killed Charlie Kirk and he was a lone gunman, there's something wrong with you. I don't even think he was one. I don't even think he was on the roof. I don't even think he was there. So, I mean, I still have not seen one picture or video of him, a positive ID of him being anywhere on that campus. So anyway, let's you want to say something about before I move on? You have a question?
Yeah.
Go ahead. What is it?
Yeah.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
What do you think about dying for the truth?
I think that we should all die for the truth. I think that if I believe that if you're gonna die for the truth, it better be the truth.
Yep.
And can you describe what you really mean by that?
What I mean is sticking to your beliefs,
Absolutely.
even if it costs you your life.
Absolutely, that's what Charlie did,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what a lot of people do. That's what Alex Jones does. You know, Alex Jones probably gets death threats every day. I mean, a lot of people. Tucker Carlson. I mean, there's lots of people that are big names that get death threats every day, all day long, and they believe what they believe, and they stand on that, and they should, and I will, and we all should, and that's the thing. It's okay to believe something and that be your truth. And maybe someone else believes something else. And maybe, just maybe, you come together and together you can find some, some middle of the road around it or not. But to have hate in your heart around being wrong or right is just wrong. It just doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? So let's keep going here. Let's see if we can get through some of this stuff. We've got about a half hour, so I want to see if I can get through some of this because I really want to cover the interview of the shooting thing. So let's keep going.
So in order to collapse civilization here in America, you would need to take over the political apparatus, okay? So the Democrat Party is completely captured. They are 100% controlled by intelligence agencies and foreign governments. But the Republican Party had a little bit of hope left in it, at least a little bit of where the people actually believed that we could vote our way out of this. And the person that was controlling that political party was a gentleman by the name of Charlie Kirk. And he built this organization that was so big that it overthrew the RNC. Now this man is standing between you and collapsing civilization in America, which has been a 10, 20, 50, maybe even 100-year plan. Finally, you have everything in place to do that, but this one man stands in your way. What would you be willing to do in order to remove that man and take him out? Anything? I think so. I think Charlie Kirk was the only person that was standing in the way of collapsing the Republican Party and it being a fully captured, occupied apparatus controlled by intelligence agencies and foreign governments like Israel. And we just lost the mayor race. I don't think this is going to be the one-off.
Oh, take a look at this. In Miami last night, Eileen Higgins defeats Emilio Gonzalez, the first time in 30 years. So the Dems have taken over this race in Miami. They've won it. And you might say to yourself, well, what does that mean? Well, it's the first time in 30 years. That's a big deal. Take a look. And people are coming into the midterm saying, we're not going to show up. We're not going to vote. You didn't do anything you promised. And let me show you what's trending. And it's regardless of how you feel, this is what's going on out there. And this is what everybody's talking about. Let's go back to promises, right? Number of arrests, Russian collusion, 0. Jan 6, 0. Mar-a-Lago raid, 0. Autopin, 0. 2020 election, 0. Epstein, 0. COVID, 0. Right? And I can tell you personally what killed me was that they tried to put number 47 in jail for 750 years. And then when he gets in there, 0. Nothing. I thought he would be wiping the floor with everybody by now. And we've seen nothing. Now, he did shut the border down 100%. And we absolutely voted for that. But we also voted for this. I've got hundreds of millions of views talking about this. Hundreds of millions of views. I supported Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, and we got 0. This is where we're at. And this is why the Republicans are over here going, hey, what about all of this, right? So what do you think? You think we're going to see a lot more of this? A lot more of the Dems taking over these seats and these positions? I mean, to lose Miami, that's big time, right? This is what's out there. This is what's trending. And this is what the American people are talking about. And you better pay attention because we're coming into this thing. Can you imagine the rally the GOP would have this morning if you woke up and you saw them perp walk Fauci or something, or any one of the people that try to put number 47 in jail for 750 years? Can you imagine the rally behind the troops that you would see? You're not going to see it because it's not going to happen. Absolutely not. What do you see happening coming into the midterms? Where do you see the votes going? Did the GOP even seem like they want to win this, or do they want to lose it? Because a lot of people out there are saying it looks like they want to lose this. That's how poorly they're doing right now. Put it in the comments down below. I'll see you in there.
And this is what I was talking about. Because, let's face it, the GOP and the DNC, they're the same coin. They're the same. They're corrupt. They're all about themselves. They don't do nothing for the people. They go and vote for themselves. They're all millionaires and billionaires, and that's just the truth. They're all in the cabal. They're all in the government cabal. And you'll get a Marjorie Taylor Greene or somebody like that, or a Massey in there, or a Mace, or one of these people that they go in there and they fight, and they just get run off because they just get ran off because the corruption is so thick in government that you have to get rid of the whole cabinet and start over in order to have a real operating chance to turn the corruption around, because they're all in it. They're all taking money from Israel. What's it called? APAC money. They're all involved in all this corruption, and they are all paid off. As soon as you get there, you get assigned. You get in there, and you're moving into your little spot, your desk, and doing all this stuff. And they come over there and they bribe you right away, and then you go meet up with go to some dinner party, and next thing you know, they roofie you and they take pictures of you with some girl, or they talk you into doing some deal, because if you could just do this one deal, you'll help save America. And then you find out that it was a complete corruption, and then they got you, and then they use that against you for the next 10, 20 years. They just keep using the corruption, the blackmail against you forever, right? And that's your government today. You got a question?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Said something about the Democratic Party
Yep.
being controlled by the CIA.
The Democratic Party, the Republican Party, most government officials are, controlled by the CIA. Yes.
Oh.
Central Intelligence. Yes. Well, I don't know how. I mean, I think it's what I just said. I think that they're all taking money from whoever is in charge, and they take money. The CIA is not even supposed to operate in the United States. They're supposed to be about foreign entanglements. They're supposed to be supposed to do stuff out of the United States to support the United States. Spies, different things like that. But they seem like they're here doing this domestic terrorism. That's what it seems like to me. And I don't know. I've never been in government. I just know what I've seen, what I've read, what I've heard. And the Democratic Party they're all corrupt. It's the same head of the same coin. It's horrible. That's what you got in government. They're all corrupt. I mean, like I said, you get one or two people come in, they do a good job, and then they either get ran off because they sue them into oblivion, or they they swat them every week, or if you're not in, if who was it, George Carlin always said, he had one of his acts, you've probably seen it, is a comedian. He says, it's a big party and you ain't in it. You know, it's a big. How the hell does he say that? It's a big club, and you ain't in it. You know what I mean? The only people that are in it are the ones that are taking on. They're on the take. You know what I mean? You've seen the movies where those like New York movies where the cops are all taking money from the criminals, and the criminals keep doing their dirt and killing people and burying them in the backyard and doing all that stuff. You've seen the movies, right? And it's the same kind of thing. They take money from Israel or whoever. I mean, whoever it is, whoever is the one that's paying them, and as long as they keep doing what they're supposed to do, they'll keep getting paid. But as soon as they don't, then they kill them,
Right.
or they get rid of them, or they shut them up. And I think that's what happened with Charlie, because I think that once Charlie decided that he no longer was going to be a fanboy for Israel, that he got killed. That's just what I think. But don't listen to me. I don't know nothing. Oh, this is great. We're gonna get into this. I have another Ryan Matta video.
I don't know if you guys heard this new clip from Tim Pool. Tim Pool goes on this unhinged rant, and Candace just responded to it. So let me read what Candace just wrote, and then I'll play this clip from Tim. It's epic. Candace goes, she said, he is generally not well right now. I wouldn't turn this into a cheap internet moment. There's just something clearly personal going on in his life. She goes, it's hard to run a business. He's under pressure. Pray he comes through it. So Candace is taking the higher road here, but Tim Pool, buddy, hopefully you're all right, bro. Somebody should do a wellness check on this dude. Check this out.
Candace Owens is a fucking evil scumbag. She is a degenerate cunt. She is burning everything down, and she's gloating and smiling while she does it. And you know what you fucking told me? She has no security. She doesn't fucking deal with the shit we have to deal with. She's a piece of shit. She's making everyone else suffer. And all of these fucking conservatives out there that send me these fucking messages have no fucking balls to call her out. More and more people have started doing it. They send me these fucking messages. Good for you, Tim. Good for you, Tim. I wasn't the first person to do it. I'm not going to take credit for that. But don't fucking DM me like I did something for you as you cower, as you fucking cower, scared that she'll put you on her thumbnail and claim you benefited from Charlie Kirk's assassination, which he's doing to me right fucking now.
Yeah, that was the.
I'm fucking done with these people.
She has security, just not on the level of you.
Oh, yeah, the one fat guy you mentioned with no wall and no barrier in a suburban neighborhood with neighbors. She doesn't give two fucking shits. No one's out for her. She's lying about all of this. You told me you went to her house and she's got a 4-foot wall and one fat guy, and she doesn't give a shit about her security. Meanwhile, I get bullets fired at my fucking property, and I have to go live in the middle of nowhere. And I got fucking strangers coming up to my house in Maryland, breaking in. I got people showing up and beating up the residents who try to live there. How the fuck am I even supposed to sell this property? And it's all lies. It's all hypocrisy. And it is for the purpose of making money. She does not live the way other people live. And she claims she liked Charlie. She loved Charlie. And she is burning everything down that he built because she is evil. She is evil. And I'll say it again. This conservative movement is fractured. It's fried, whatever it is. Okay. Republicans are on track to lose the midterms. They were actually trending the other direction until Charlie Kirk was murdered.
Yeah.
And this is the point, isn't it? The most effective political assassination in history. And thanks to the likes of the vile cunt Candace Owens, she has turned Turning Point into the perpetrators of the crime that was against them. I don't get paid by any of these people. I'm not on good terms necessarily with Turning Point USA. They didn't invite me to their stupid event. I don't want to go. I don't want to go. They invited me back after I started criticizing Candace. I'm not going to your event. I'm over all of this shit. The last thing that I need to deal with is a bunch of cowards in conservative media refusing to stand up to her. Megyn Kelly, come on. I appreciate the kind words, but come on. Such fucking pathetic bullshit. And I get people saying, Tim, thank you so much for talking about it. I don't care. I'm not doing a favor for anybody. I'm not doing this to benefit anybody. Nobody's paying me. There's no fucking Russia. There's no fucking Israel. There's just me sticking my neck out and then risking dying for what? A bunch of cowards that don't want to stand up to protect themselves. People like fucking Candace Owens.
I couldn't believe that she put you in the thumbnail of
fucking cunt
of her piece today.
I'm done.
The idea that she'd
I'm
imply
fucking done.
that you had some benefit or that you benefit somehow, like
She
that's
benefited. I
totally
think she's a
ridiculous.
Fed, and I think she killed Charlie. No one benefited more than her.
Welfare check. New welfare check on old Tim Pool. I'm wondering, is anybody thinking what I'm thinking? Why is he so wound up about Candace attempting to figure out who killed Charlie? Why is that such a thing? I mean, that's what all this is about, right? He said something about her, and then she said something about him, and then he said something about her, and now he's calling her all kinds of names and acting all crazy and stuff. And it's like he's talking about the Republican Party being fractured, and he's the one fracturing it. We just want justice for Charlie Kirk. We just want to know what the truth is. And we're going to get to it. We're going to get to it. We are going to get to it. But before we do, here's another person talking about should we be looking at what happened to Charlie? Stand by.
Got to redo this. I'm going to give my thoughts on this whole Erica Kirk thing. I'm sorry if you hear me repeat because I was just on a live and I need to do it again, but I'm going to post this video because I think it's important that we talk about this and the very calculated game that's being played to continue to further divide us. And I think that we need to see the deception for what it is, which all at the same time. Okay. Sorry if you hear. Is that a little bit better? Can you hear me a lot? Can you hear me better now? Hopefully. All at the same time. Erica Kirk comes flying out, swinging at Candace, and they want it to be Team Erica, Team Candace. That's what they want. And I've said that. I was actually guilty. I did a reel saying Team Candace. We need to be Team Truth. That's how I feel about this. We need to be Team Truth. And so what's happening is this narrative, this government narrative. Okay, if you see how they're saying it, I believe in the judicial system. I believe like our team's working hard. We're turning over all this stuff. This is all meant to divide us, to try and discredit the one kind of bigger voice right now. I mean, between Tucker and there's other channels. It's not just Candace. There's probably more than half of America that think this whole thing is suspect. The whole narrative that they're giving. I don't even want to get into all of the inconsistencies and the suspiciousness of this whole murder. But the whole thing, like from the bullet round or the round that went through his neck that supposedly stopped in a Superman neck, they said it was like the Man of Steel, and then went down. That's at that velocity, you guys, even if the bullet's tumbling, it's going through and through and through. That's what's happening with that round. A 30-06, have you seen the difference between a 30-06 round and like a 22? That alone should question everything. Just that alone. Never mind the crazy text messages. Oh, my love. Between him and the trans person. Where's the trans person? How did he get up on the roof? We only see video of him at the very end, not in prone position, taking the shot. Where's the gun? When he jumps down, I didn't see a gun. The changing of the clothes. All of it. The text messages that we never would have got if it wasn't for Candace Owens' show of Charlie saying, "This leaves me no choice but to abandon the pro-Israel cause." Like, I said this before on my last one, but when you have incidences this suspicious, like from JFK to 9/11 to COVID to January 6th, which, by the way, they're all government, to Kirk, the very first thing that needs to be In other words, the government is automatically guilty until proven innocent on anything like this. When we see these events, the very first thing we should do is question the government narrative, all of us. What the government wants to do is use TPUSA now. They want to use TPUSA to protect this entity, this uniparty entity, to where if you question it, you're in this crazy conspiracy theorist camp and you're nuts and you don't have a heart because you're questioning the widow. That's what's happening right now. And so that's why I didn't say much. I haven't been saying much about Erica Kirk because, you can tell that there's a lot going on there. And I just don't, it's like, okay, we grieve differently, whatever, but you don't get it both ways. You don't get to be the grieving widow over here. And then also the tip of the spear of an organization that was built on asking questions. Literally, that's what Charlie Kirk would do, is ask questions and have a free debate of all these things. So why can't we just have a free debate? Yeah, granted, Candace has been wrong on several things. She's been wrong on people in Utah. But she's can you believe that we're at a place right now where if your political movement can be shaken up and it can start crumbling based on a few podcasters, you never had a real movement. You had an illusion.
All right. Absolutely. So that brings me to the very important part, is that if we can't trust anything that the FBI says, which we know, or the government as a whole, and we know they're all corrupt, and everybody's in everybody's pocket, and everybody's got blackmail on everybody, and it's just this big old cesspool of government slop. They call it Fed slop, right? Then what are we talking about here? We're talking about who did it, because we don't have the answers. It's the same thing. It doesn't change the narrative. It's the same narrative. What in the hell's going on here? Why don't we have the information? Why are we only getting grainy videos? I mean, think about it. Think about it. You got a question? Yep. We're gonna keep going. We got some more. It's gonna get heated up here. Okay, so bear with me. We're gonna got a couple. Yeah, we're almost done with this portion, so that's good. We're getting through all the controversial videos. We're going to do these and then see where we're at. It looks like we're running out of time. We might have to. Very possible that we're going to do the shooting part tomorrow after at 9:00. But let's just keep going. Stand by.
I'm sorry. I'm just going to have to say it. This right here, what's going on, this is what we call a psychological operation.
He would walk through the door, drop his bags, Daddy's home, take his phone, Friday night, Shabbat Shalom.
Is she a rapper now? What was that little rhyme there? Daddy's home, throws the phone, Shabbat Shalom. I asked Grok, do Christians say Shabbat Shalom? And the response was no. Christians typically do not say Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom is a traditional Hebrew greeting used by Jews on the Sabbath, Friday evening through Saturday evening. It literally means Sabbath peace or peaceful Sabbath, and is specific to Jewish observance of Sabbath. At this point, I am fully convinced this is a psyop, right? Now that Charlie Kirk is no longer around to speak for himself, the new CEO of TPUSA, Erica Kirk, is using this moment to basically push Israel down our throats.
We have over 1,000. We have around 1,070 major handpicked evangelical pastors. We have over 200 connected to Donald Trump in the White House. These are the media people. These are the social media people. They influence tens of millions of people. And this is the first time in Israel's history it's ever happened. By the way, they're not coming on a tour. They're coming to become official ambassadors for the state of Israel.
Israeli ambassadors. Did he just say the quiet part out loud? And also, there are whistleblowers out there right now claiming, allegedly, that Turning Point USA itself has been compromised by foreign governments. Are we not allowed to ask any questions that one of the largest political organizations in the United States might be compromised by a foreign government?
Come after me, call me names, I don't care. But when you go after my family, my Turning Point USA family, my Charlie Kirk Show family, when you go after the people that I love, and you're making hundreds and thousands of dollars every single episode going after the people that I love because somehow they're in on this, no.
No, your family is your family. The people who work at TPUSA, who work for you at TPUSA, they are your colleagues. So we should have the right to ask questions. We should have the right to investigate your organization's ties to potentially shadowy figures or funding. And yes, we should have the right to question if the organization that you lead is potentially colluding with a certain foreign government.
Okay, so hold that thought. Okay, I'm going to jump over here for a second. Hold that thought. Check this out.
I'm here to be part of the Ambassador Summit taking place this week. We're here for 7 days to support Israel and to take what we learn back to our people back home.
I believe it's imperative that we educate the younger generation on what it means to stand for Israel.
There's a lot to learn, a lot to be present for, and that is what I expect to do.
I'm on fire to spread the good news about Israel.
Israel's God's place. Jerusalem is God's place for God's people, and we need to support them.
Reverend Johnny Moore.
We are here to answer a call. Our faith requires action when darkness rises. And here we are, where the promises of Abraham still echo, where the psalmist's songs still rise. And we gather here on this closing afternoon to declare a spiritual war.
Yes, we welcome everybody that's showing your support for Israel, and in the merit of Pastor Rocky being here.
It's one of the places hardest hit by the invasion of Hamas.
Every nation is only as strong as the men and women who've been willing to serve and sacrifice.
Good morning. We're worshiping on the Mount of Olives, the descendant of Jesus when he went to heaven, and where he's going to come back and return, and he's going to go right over there, and he's going to walk through those gates. They built up, the Muslims have put all their graves, they built walls. He's going to walk right through it.
Absolutely. As a Christian, we support those that are God's chosen people.
Israel is a hero to the world. Israel is on the front lines of terrorism. Israel has given the blood of its children in sacrifice as the IDF stands between innocent people who just always pray for peace.
God is done in this place in 1 week.
Pastors have witnessed all. You brought us here, and I ask you to help us.
Pastors, believers, that we're standing with Jerusalem and we're standing with Israel. If you do not stand with this nation and this people, you don't stand for anything.
I'm happy to have been invited here with Foz because if
I'm going to show you something. Okay, so you want to know where your pastor was at. I'm going to show you something. Now, I'm a Christian. I believe in Jesus Christ. I believe he died for my sins on a cross. Jews don't. Okay? Just be clear. So, I got this message, And let me put this on the screen for you. It's on the screen. I don't know if you can see it or not. Maybe not. I'll put it on my X. But all of these churches, 600, 550 something churches all over the United States, went to this, this Jewish brainwashing, whatever it is. And it says how many members are in their church, and it says where their church is at, Mexico, California, what their church is, all this stuff. It's pretty interesting because if you wonder where, what your church is about. And so, I mean, this thing. So if you're into if you're into Jewish teachings, great. But I'm into Jesus Christ, and it's just weird for me that there's so much of a push constantly about Israel, 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 Israel all the time. And I don't give a shit. If that's what you want to do, great. My temple, my body is my temple. I pray to God, Jesus Christ. I don't pray to whatever. I don't even know that any. I'm actually don't know enough about it to even say anything about it. But I just wanted to show you that they're literally taking people from the United States to Israel to to uh, to train them how to be Jewish. Okay. So it's weird. It's just weird to me. Anyway, I wanted to throw that in there. When that one came up, I wanted to show you that. So let's get back to what we were doing here. Now, I want to be clear about what we've done tonight so far about the lies. There's so many lies that we're being told. We're being lied to. Regardless if you think if you want to be in the Turning Point camp, or you want to be in the Candace Owens camp, or you want to be America First camp, or the MAGA camp, or the whatever, the Trump camp, or whatever, Alex Jones camp, whatever it is, we should all be for truth, and we should all be for America. It was supposed to be Make America Great Again. It wasn't about any other foreign country. It was always supposed to be about taking care of our soil, our United States of America. And somehow, in the last few months, it's turned into something else. And there is a lot pushing here about this Israel thing. And I haven't figured it out yet. And I'm not a anti-Semite or whatever the fuck it's called. I'm not anti-Semitic. Yeah, thank you, son. I'm not anti-Semitic. But I don't understand why there's such a push constantly on this teaching that's not even Christianity. It's Judaism. Say it again. Judaism. Now, there might be some pastors that think that it's all the same. That's great. But my understanding is Judaism doesn't believe that Jesus Christ died on the cross. So if I'm wrong, get in the comments and tell me, please. But let's get back to what we're talking about. We're talking about the lying that's going on, and Ian's going to share. We're going to have Ian break it down for us. Stand by.
Bet you didn't see this. So as many of you know, I don't know how you wouldn't know, it's been all over the place. Erica Kirk has been going on a media tour, showing up on Fox News and all kinds of interviews, Glenn Beck, and talking about Charlie's new book, and dispelling all the rumors about Turning Point USA in a very odd way, I'll just say.
None of us are involved in my husband's murder. None of us. Turning Point USA, myself, any of these other crazy accusations, none of us. And so I want our team who's on this case to do what we hired them to do and take care of this. And the unfortunate part is that everyone's acting as if the case in the trial is going to be tomorrow. The case is not going to be, I mean, in full transparency, we're looking at end of 26, beginning of 27, probably.
Recently, she accused Candace Owens of lying about Charlie Kirk, saying that he thought somebody was going to kill him before he died, specifically sending texts about this.
I certainly didn't suspect Turning Point USA would be, as I believe, involved in a cover-up. It doesn't necessarily mean they weren't involved in plotting to kill him, but I do believe that they have betrayed him since, and I am comfortable saying that today because I know that they have told lies, I know that they have withheld information, that if truly you were motivated by goodness and truth, you would come out and you would say it. Like there are people at Turning Point who Charlie texted the night before and said they're going to kill me. If you're trying to figure out who killed Charlie Kirk, wouldn't that be a good thing to come forward with and to the public and say Charlie thought that he was going to be murdered the night before?
Now, you've probably seen there's been rumors. Harrison Smith said that he heard that Charlie Kirk thought he was going to be killed and had suspicions of it. And this is Erica saying that that's absolutely not true. Watch this.
Do you think Charlie knew to some degree and had made the conscious choice that I may be taken out early, not saying he knew that day, but that he had any inkling that this might come his way and that he intentionally chose to move forward with faith in God?
It's interesting because I have unbelievable amounts of death threats. My kids have kidnapping threats, death threats. Our whole team has death threats. We knew that there was always going to be a threat, but Charlie and I we promised each other we would never live in fear. And he would say, if they're going to get me, they're going to get me. But he was not messaging people the day before saying, I'm going to be murdered. They're coming after me. Someone's going to kill me. He didn't say that. And I have his cell phone.
Yeah, but see, that's really weird because Frank Turek said something completely different.
He wrote me this: please pray for me. I'm under the gun on something right now. Prayers appreciated. I texted him and I said, I hope you've increased your security detail. He texted me back. He said, quote, I have. I know they want me dead. And I don't know who he meant by they.
So someone's lying. Is it Frank? Or is it Erica? Someone's lying. Charlie clearly feared for his life before he died. He told multiple people that, and just added to the list of things that don't make sense and things that seem to not add up with this whole situation. I don't know how long that list is, but it's pretty damn long at this point. That being said, all the people that are talking about how Candace is being irresponsible and she's just evil and she's just throwing things out there and she's getting all kinds of things wrong and blah, 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 blah. Said it once, I'll say it again. That's how this works. And how else would she get people to slip up like they just did if she didn't do it the way that she's doing it? What do you think she's going to do? She's being an investigative journalist. You think she's just going to wait around until she has the exact right answers? Until she knows exactly who it is and exactly what happened? That's the point of an investigation. So miss me with the whole, stop throwing out accusations and getting things wrong. That's part of the process. Welcome to investigative journalism. But anyway, someone's lying. And once again, something is off. I don't know what it is, but something's off. And it seems like there is a much, much bigger plan. And it seems like there's a lot of people that are involved in that plan. Yeah. But I'm just a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah, so exactly. So the plan seems bigger than it looks like. You got all these people coming out since she's out on Fox News now, and have all these commentators out on, doing, talking about, stop looking, and all this stuff. It's just weird. It just doesn't make sense. Like you think that you'd be like, yeah, go Max. You know what I mean? You think that that's what you would be doing. You're like, go Max, right? But for some reason, that's not what's happening here. I have a whole bunch more to do, and I'm going to do this one more with Theo Vaughn and Tucker. I think it's important for where we're at right now. And then I'm going to come back tomorrow night at 9 o'clock and finish the show, but finish the rest because I still got a ton to go through, and we'll go through the this. I got this video of a guy breaking down the whole thing with the shooting and the all that stuff, and I broke it up into little pieces so we can commentate over it. We'll do that tomorrow. But here is Theo Vaughn and Tucker Carlson. We'll get this one in. We're running late, but you know me, I like to run late anyway. Go.
But how could so many politicians and stuff get compromised? That's what I don't understand. Wouldn't there be more people that stood up and said, "Hey, this isn't right"? Like, I that's what I find hard to believe.
Well, because they all made the deal, and all of them make the deal, and the deal is not always explicit. And the deal, everyone thinks it's about sexual blackmail, which is totally real. All the porn sites are visible. Like, go to a porn site, people know exactly what you're looking at. And there's a video of you looking at it. It's just a fact. And okay, so there's that.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of them secretly gay. Of course, we know that. But I don't think, and have drinking problems or cheating their wives or whatever.
Is that enough to keep people?
No, I think it's actually deeper than that. It's not enough. It's not enough. Like the obvious ones, like, why is Lindsey Graham for this or that war? It's like, okay, yeah, I got it. But a lot
if you're trying to slurp on little fellas or whatever, or you're jacking off to like, butt activity or whatever, like, does that like, I mean, definitely
slurping on little fellas.
I mean, pedophiling is bad. It is not good at all. It's horrible, right? But if you're just like looking at I'm just like,
that's not the answer though. That's not most of them are not being sexually blackmailed. Some are. I mean, I think the Epstein thing was probably that to some extent. But no, it's much deeper and more recognizable and part of our daily life than that. It's much more insidious than that because it's less dramatic than that. It's the deal that we all make with ourselves to get what we want. Like, I want to be powerful. I want to get reelected. I want to get rich. I want to bang that girl. And you make these compromises with yourself in which you consciously decide to be dishonest. You decide, in some cases, violent. That is true. Or whatever.
How do they get so many people though? Because like you look at some of these
system itself is that like you get in order to get elected, I have to do the following things. I have to basically subvert democracy by carrying water for a tiny group of people against the interests of my actual voters. Like that itself is a sin. It's a crime, but it's so ubiquitous you don't even notice it. It's deals like that. I'm going to take money from a foreign lobby that somehow isn't registered as a foreign lobby or whatever. I'll support this thing that I think is probably pretty wrong, but I'm going to do it because I have to. Mm-hmm. It's those kind of moral compromises that wind up making people slaves. And that's what they are. They're slaves. Mm-hmm. We have hundreds of slaves, otherwise known as members of Congress. And what are they slaves to? Evil. Because they've made these compromises in order to get what they think is the prize, which is re-election.
It's a crazy movie.
It's real though, man.
I know that's
but it's all of us. Like all of us have made that deal. That's why it's so important to reframe it in your head. It's not just some freak on Pedo Island, banging a child and then, they have him by the balls because they have videotape of him. No, it's all of us. If I just do this thing, it's worth it, man. It's for the greater good. It's for my family. It's for, you hear this every election season.
Right. I need a vote.
I don't want to vote for this shithead, but we need to control the Congress. What is that? You're making a deal with the devil, dude. With the devil. That's what that is. Bow down before me and all of this will be yours. That's the deal. Don't make that deal because you lose yourself. You lose your freedom. All of a sudden you're a slave. And you see these politicians, they're like, oh, no, it's not. No, there are good reasons for doing this. No, really. What is that? It's not a free man. That's an enslaved man. And the people who are free because they exude this kind of peace and joy. And they're like, no, I don't care. I'll say whatever I think is true. You can shoot me. Go ahead and shoot me. It's not going to change anything because you're lying and I'm not. Like,
right.
It's freedom versus slavery. And we put ourselves in slavery with that deal.
Said very well. And it's exactly what I've said all night long is that's what they do. They enslave you through blackmail or through these things that you do because you do it because it's the right thing to do according to whoever the fuck is pitching it to you, and then you do it, and then you realize that it was not good, and then they got you, and then you got to keep doing it because if you don't, then they'll expose you, and then it's just a vicious circle. Don't take the deal. Never buy into the bullshit. If it doesn't feel right when you look at it, here's an example. in my past, I had a checkered past from my very much younger years when I was a kid. I had a checkered past, and I would do things that I knew that were wrong, whether it was stealing money out of my mom's purse or whatever it was. I knew it was wrong, and I knew that it wasn't like right to do it, but I would do it anyway and then feel bad about doing it later. Right? It's the same difference. I know it's very small compared to, well, not for my mom. I mean, my mom was a single mom raising two boys, and we were heathens. We were just complete heathens. And so for her, it's probably the same as some dude that's compromised the government. You know what I mean? But this is the way it is. I mean, it's horrible. I mean, what we go through, as men, women, whatever, in government office or whatever, we can't take the deal. We have to live on our morals and have integrity. It's just the way it is. That's why here, sometimes I'll hold on to a story that I get for days or weeks, until I get it verified in a way to where I feel that if I say it, it's going to be right. And I hope you see that from here. I hope you see that when you run across my broadcast and you're like, well, I know that if John Webb puts out this on Inspector Webb show, whatever, that he's going to give us truth and not some bullshit, right? Because there's so much of that going on all the time. There just is. So I hope that I've done that, and I hope that I continue to do that, and I pray that God will continue to keep me in the right direction because I think that we're all at the precipice of doing some stupid ass shit that's not right, and it's our job to pay attention to what's right and have good morals and values. So anyway, John, thank you for coming in tonight and hanging out with us. I hope you got a kick out of this. My son wanted to come in here and see what the hell I do, when I'm out here in the studio, and appreciate it. I think it's great. I want you out here more often, and it'll get easier. The more time that you spend out here, it gets easier to, do this because it's cameras and lights and monitors and, and videos and stuff. It can be intimidating, but it gets better. And I love you, and thank you, everybody. Please just in the show notes, please just go to the My Patriot Supply. Look at the deals that are on there. If there's a deal that you see on My Patriot Supply that I don't currently show, let me know in the comments or on my email, john@inspectorweb.com with two B's, and I will get it up there because I got super good deals on everything, but I'm new to My Patriot Supply, so I have to literally load the deals in myself. And I have hundreds of different things that I can put in there. So if there's something that you want, let me know and I'll get it up. I'll get it in there. Your support's greatly appreciated. Share this content everywhere. It's open source, so anything on any of my channels is free. You can take it out, clip it up, do whatever you want with it. But I just ask that you would please push Inspector Webb out there so people can find me and learn that I'm here because I really want to make this a place where you come for your news and your media instead of Fox News or wherever, which I think I've surpassed those corrupt people by far, but we're doing the best we can here. God bless everybody, and I'll be back tomorrow night. I have some stuff to do tomorrow. Early, I should be back by around right after dark, so I should be good for 9 o'clock tomorrow night. I'll come in here and I'll finish this. I'll add a few things to it. We got big news on NATO and EU. And the Russian war that they're trying to suck America into right now. We're going to cover that and some Gavin Newsom stuff, and we're going to cover the shooting part. I got about 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I got about 12 clips of the actual shooting and the trajectory and all that stuff. We'll get into it tomorrow. Thank you for being here. God bless everybody, and we'll see you tomorrow.